Welcome to CM201U Professional Development on Demand. My name is Judi Pappas, and today's presentation will discuss motivating students who don't care. Apparently, we cannot take one bath at the beginning of the school year and expect it to last till June. Who knew? The same goes for motivation. According to Zig Ziglar, people often say that motivation does not last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. When we are considering student motivation or the lack of it, students' behavior will tell you exactly what they are motivated to do and what they are not motivated to do. When trying to increase student motivation, use procedures that address both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation comes from within an individual. The individual takes pleasure in the task itself rather than any external rewards such as money or grades. Extrinsic motivation, the rewards often provide the satisfaction and pleasure that the task itself may not provide. Extrinsic motivation has to be activated. Today we will look at 5 strategies that help to motivate students. These 5 strategies are: present the desired tasks to student in a manner that will generate enthusiasm, implement effective instruction practices, use every possible opportunity to provide each student with non-contingent attention. Non-contingent attention involves giving students positive time and attention, not because of anything specific they've done, but because you notice them and value them as people, not necessarily for a specific action. Number 4, give students positive feedback on their successes in a variety of ways. And number 5, plan to interact at least 3 times more often with students when they are behaving appropriately than when they are misbehaving. Number 1, present the desired tasks to your student in a manner that will generate their enthusiasm. Explain how an activity will be useful to the students. The activity has to have a purpose, and the students need to know what that purpose is. We need to provide an age-appropriate explanation because high school and elementary language and delivery are actually very different. We need to provide a vision of what students will eventually be able to do, the end goal, why they are doing this, student awareness of the long-term benefits of full and active participation in your class. What are the long-range classroom goals? They could be academic skills, study skills, social skills, or a mixture of the 3. Relate new tasks to previously learned skills. Students need to understand the connection between what they have mastered and how it relates or is useful in understanding new skills and topics, and why scaffolding this information is important. We need to rally student enthusiasm, especially for challenging tasks. Sometimes it is difficult for people to work outside their comfort zone. This rings true for adults as well as our students. Pep talks. Generating enthusiasm for the tasks you assigned can enhance student motivation. If you sound bored while teaching your content area, and that's what you've chosen to teach, then the students are definitely not going to get excited. Always encourage motivated behavior from your students. Again, we go back to that opening slide. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. Number 2, implementing effective instruction practices. Effective instruction practices are an integral part of effective behavior management practice. Effective instruction prevents a great deal of misbehavior because students who are highly engaged in meaningful tasks do not have the time nor the inclination to misbehave. This also creates a snowball effect. When students are successful, their sense of accomplishment can be so satisfying that they are motivated to behave responsibly as well as take a greater interest in learning. Some variables which are very important in implementing effective instructional practices include teacher's presentation style. We need to vary our tone of voice to avoid monotony. I'm reminded of that teacher from Ferris Bueller's Day Off who keeps repeating, Bueller, Bueller, and never changes his tone of voice. We need to vary the intensity of our presentation. Do not always act excited. Do not always act calm. Use humor. Try and make at least some part of every lesson fun or funny. Clarify the lesson purpose. Make sure students know what they are supposed to be learning and why it is important. Clarify the information presented. Zero in on key concepts students need to understand. The more direct, the better. We need to make sure we are actively involving students in the lessons. Ask questions. Initiate brainstorming sessions. Give students tasks to work on in pairs. Present small tasks for students to work on independently. Have students volunteer personal examples, which demonstrate and provide a connection to the information. Give mini quizzes, set up role plays, bring in visual aids, and present guided practice of tasks. We need to ensure high rates of student success. Again, a taste of success lends to wanting a full meal. Try and provide clear enough instruction and frequent practice opportunities to ensure that students will achieve success on assigned tasks. Plan to provide additional teacher-directed instruction in areas where you know students are going to struggle. We need to provide students with immediate feedback. As quickly as possible, students need to receive information on the parts of the task they are doing correctly and the parts they are doing incorrectly. Use every possible opportunity to provide students with non-contingent attention. It's imperative that an effort be made to provide every student attention that is not contingent on any specific accomplishment. Contingent positive attention involves interacting with and giving feedback to students when they have accomplished or demonstrated improvement on important academic or behavioral goals. Non-contingent attention, which was introduced on slide 5, involves giving students time and attention not because of anything they have done, but just because you notice them and value them as people. What are the benefits of providing students with non-contingent attention? Actually, the benefits are twofold. For the teacher, it provides us the benefit of feeling more connected to our students. It provides students with a model of pleasant, supportive interactions. It improves student behavior. It makes each day more pleasant by improving classroom climate. And it's money in the bank because every positive interaction we have with a student or a parent puts relationship money in our bank account with that student or parent. It pads the accounts in our favor and gives us something to draw from for all future interactions, especially if we have to make a withdrawal or if parental help is needed in the future for behavior or grades. For the student, students need to feel noticed and valued. Everyone wants to feel valued for what they do. When students feel noticed and valued, they are more likely to be motivated to engage in appropriate behaviors. How do we provide non-contingent attention? Greet students by name, not only upon entering classroom, but when you see them in other parts of the building or during activities. Show a genuine interest in their thoughts, feelings, and activities. Show an interest in students' work. Invite students to ask for assistance. Whenever time permits, have a conversation with a student or a group of students. Make a special effort to greet or talk to any student with whom you have had a recent interaction regarding a misbehavior. This gesture communicates that what happened before is in the past and that there is no grudge being held. It also lets the student know you are prepared for a fresh start. Give students positive feedback on their successes in a variety of ways. Giving students positive feedback is one of the most powerful strategies to encourage responsible behavior. There are some specific skills in providing feedback that is both genuine and positive. Feedback should be accurate. Effective positive feedback should be related to a specific behavior or set of behaviors that in fact did occur. Feedback needs to be specific and descriptive. Tell students exactly what they did. It needs to be information laden. For example, if you tell a student excellent work regarding a paper they wrote, as opposed to effective use of figurative language, organization of paper, use of vocabulary, creative use of overall ideas, use of topic sentences, clarity of the descriptive language. Just saying excellent work does not tell the students specifically what they are doing well or excellently and what they need to revisit. Be wary of these common mistakes. The good job syndrome. Fantastic, good job, nice work. Making judgments or drawing conclusions about students. Good, smart, brilliant. The first two bullets are too general and non-specific. The third bullet, calling attention to yourself, I like the way you, finishing with something specific. Although this is what the research states, I'm not too sure I agree. I found this to be effective as long as it's followed by specifics. For example, I like the way you walked away from that situation. Excellent job not allowing yourself to get pulled into an altercation. The success of this strategy, however, is heavily based upon the pre-existing relationship you have with the student and whether or not they care if you like something that they do. Feedback should be contingent. Contingent feedback, again, is feedback recognizing a specific behavior or task. Four major circumstances contribute to positive feedback being contingent. Feedback occurs when someone is learning a new skill or behavior. Feedback refers to a behavior that requires effort, whether or not it is a new skill or behavior. It concerns a behavior about which the individual is proud, and the feedback should have some level of importance. Feedback should be age appropriate. There is a difference in vocabulary and affective tone between high school and elementary levels. Feedback should be given in a manner that fits your own style. If you are not comfortable with the feedback you are providing, it will come off as awkward or non-genuine. What about the students who respond negatively to positive feedback? Treat the misbehavior as a momentary interruption in the student's success. Refrain from communicating anger or disappointment or even shock. At a neutral or private time, talk to the student about his or her tendency to misbehave after receiving positive feedback. Be more private or otherwise modify the form of the positive feedback you provide to the student. Switch from giving specific descriptive feedback to simply interacting with the student when he or she is behaving responsibly. And very, very important, plan to interact at least 3 times more often with the students when they are behaving appropriately than when they are misbehaving. Some students are so starved for attention, and the form of attention, whether it's negative or positive, may not matter. With the students who are starved for attention, the behavior you pay the most attention to is the behavior you will get more of in the future. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at Pappas, Pappasj, at cm201u.org.